Welcome back, everybody. Automotive Inc. Today we are out testing out new little SUVs for the wife. She wanted to look at the Ford Bronco Sport. Many others will bring one in here probably on the Envision soon. So here we are with the 2024 Ford Bronco Sport. MSRP on this is $44,800, and this is the larger 2.0 EcoBoost. It is the Badlands version. It is in Oxford white with ebony roast Lee trim, and so far it's done really well. We had some really crappy weather out here in Colorado, but I can't complain because there's people that get way more snow than us. But let's just kind of walk around, check out this little guy. So here's the exterior. One thing we did find is that on the Bronco Sport you cannot get a 360 camera on any trim level. It does have roof rails for cross members, crossover bars, whatever you want to call them. Little bitty 17-inch rims, which is fine. And a cool looking back end. So no power liftgate on any trim, but it's kind of cool. You can open the upper window. Has about as much as you would expect from a smaller compact SUV. You can get some other little accessories for in here, but one thing that we do like about Ford is they put a lot of power points in their vehicles. So you can see a 12 volt there and a little 110, which is pretty cool. The seats basically do lay flat, and then there is a cargo lamp area light right there. And then if you wanted to shut the liftgate glass, you can then open the actual rear liftgate. So there's that. Being a big square, it does have a good wide opening, so you could probably actually put a recliner box in here from Costco. So pretty cool. And then the Badlands, interesting enough, all the flooring materials, this material is no carpet, so that's pretty interesting there. Got a little bit of storage there and an actual full size spare matching rubber, which is very rare in most vehicles to even have a spare, let alone a full size spare. So if you were to pop this open on the trail, you'd be good to go and slap that tire on there. And then again, we do have some tie down points here that you can clip stuff in. Kind of cool there. You get your carpeted mats, interesting enough. I'm not sure where they have tie down points inside there, but
and these are seat back utility mats.
Oh yeah, so they got the seat back covers right there. Let's check out legroom on the inside for me. So as you can see right there, this is a smaller car than the actual Forester that I have. So with the seat where I feel comfortable up front, we'll climb in here, and at 6'2", I am rubbing the seat right there. I definitely could move it up if I wanted to, but we have another 110 there, power points there, and of course vents. They have this little MOLLE system here if you wanted to hang a water bottle on there, and of course zipper storage here, which kind of looks like a Gucci handbag on the inside of it. So you can put a tablet in there, and inside pocket ones right there. Now this interior is really cool and really pretty, and the seats are super comfortable. If you guys are wondering, most of this is probably not real leather, but they do have some real leather in here. It's perforated, and then up here it's actually like a micro suede, so where your neck and your stuff would hit and your head right here. Very nice there. You can get sunroof in these, and I think you can get a larger sunroof. But one thing I do like Ford, and again, they do really well with their lighting on the inside, so you're not lost at all in here. And again, you would think that this flooring, although not as attractive as say carpet, it's actually not slick with all the snow and crap on our feet. So this climbing in right here, yeah, I could definitely bring the seat up here and still be comfortable. It is 6-way, so we can lower it. You can get that feel, so you have a little bit more feeling to it. We got the B&O. Does have memory. This is the largest screen you can get, which just fits the dashboard size, so it's fine. This is Sync 3, not Sync 4, so you can go home. It can split, so as long as you don't care about having a mastodon size screen, although I don't see Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in here, so that may be a big deal for some people, but it does have factory nav, and Ford's factory nav is really intuitive and really good. 180 camera, so again, no 360 camera, but you do have a camera on the front. Clarity's good. If you wanted to see it, you can bring it up and it'll break it down and give you a little bit wider angle of the 180 camera that's up front. Decent sound system. It is a B&O, dual zone climate control, heated steering wheel. So if you're looking at one, you don't see on the window sticker, that's where the button's going to be. We got our wireless card charger and decent storage here. Even some little net pockets on the side here. Your push button start there. And then of course these vents they feel really nice and they have a real definitive click in there. So that's nice. The HVAC system on high is about as loud as most Fords, but it's pushes a lot of air out. It's really nice. Looking up there, we do have a HomeLink system there, auto dimming mirror, and it does have the heated steering wheel, all of the safety tech within it. And on this trim level, you do get analog gauges with like a 7-inch screen up front. So now we're going to take it on a drive. So far we just put it in slippery, but you do have all your G.O.A.T modes. If you flip through those, you'll see that you can see all of those modes changing. The pretty cool little illustration as it goes, but we'll just leave it in slippery. And for most of you guys that don't know, is that this larger EcoBoost was actually in the Range Rover Evoque when that little SUV came out. So it's a tried and true engine, but it is, again, every manufacturer has the potential of having issues. So now we'll get the wife's thought on it, because this is basically her car, or would be her car. One thing I will say is Ford makes some of the best feeling comfortable seats, and this color combo is really great. All right, so now she's ready to take this bad boy on a spin, guys. So we'll get her impressions. One thing we both noticed though in this snow is the back windshield wiper is obtrusively loud when you use it. For me, I don't use the rear windshield wiper at all because those things scratch the glass. Dirt always builds up back there, but she likes to use it, and I couldn't figure out what that growl was. It sounded like a crappy seat massager you might buy from a gag store. But yeah, that's pretty loud little noise. But let's see how she does. All right, so if you guys don't know, we have a 23 Hyundai Tucson we bought new in 22. It is not the hybrid, so it's a little bit gutless, right? How do you feel about your Hyundai?
I love the Tucson. I really do. I think the 4-cylinder is not very powerful at all. And I know 4 cylinders are not supposed to be, but it really feels like it has to work just to get up to whatever speed limit it is.
Right, and one thing we noticed when we had the Kia Telluride, when the Kia Telluride first came out, we bought one with that butterscotch colored interior, and it had an off-putting smell the entire time we owned it. And we found out that that's something to do with the Syntex leather, and that is really our biggest gripe besides power, is this really stinky Syntex leather that they put in her Hyundai. Actually, the Hyundai Tucson, it's a white gray leather, and it's actually off-putting the exact same odor. So you can't get rid of it. There's nothing you can really do about it. We've cleaned it. We've done, corks. We've done all kinds of stuff with, smells and odor eliminators on it, and it still stinks. So the Ford doesn't stink in here, right?
No, it smells actually really, really nice.
Right. So driving impressions, though, how do you feel about the tall, long hood?
Again, in the Fords, I don't really notice it. The seat raises because I'm just a short little girl, but the seat raises, I can see over it. It feels like I'm just driving a regular SUV. I've driven SUVs for, the last 20 years of my life, so I kind of used to having the long hood. I like the ruggedness of this vehicle, so I kind of liked the whole boxier look, which is kind of what drew me to this Ford Bronco Sport.
Right, so we have a boxy look, but we don't have an intrusive dashboard or a screen in the middle that is actually raised up so it's hard to see over. How was set up on the Ford?
Oh my gosh, it's so easy. Everything is very intuitive. We drove a Buick recently, and their system is so confusing. I think even the saleswoman was a little confused on how to work it. But the Ford, super easy. All the buttons make complete sense, and that's one thing I'm in love with, is this Ford Bronco comes with so many buttons. Buttons to control the heat, the stereo, everything, the heated seats. I hate how they've gone to everything in the touch screen. To me, that's too much. I need a button, I want to push it and know it's been pushed.
Yeah, so as we're looking at it again, you have touchscreen capability, then you have redundant buttons down here, which is just super nice because sometimes your fingers are dirty or you have gloves on, it's not going to be as easy to use the touchscreen. The Sync 3 is a little outdated compared to the Sync 4, but again, super intuitive. It gets the job done. And again, all the buttons down here. The Buick Envision had like this weird knob out here all by itself down here, and it was literally just the volume knob, and it made no sense. It controlled nothing to do with the touchscreen. Another thing she has in her Tucson is a full LCD screen, where for some reason all the manufacturers switched the tach and the speedo. So the speedo is on the left and the tach's on the right. It's kind of strange. This one has a good mix. It has analog gauges and digital, so she does like those features.
Love it.
And then of course, what do you think of the steering wheel buttons? They're pretty much laid out, identified well.
Yeah, they're very easy to identify. I can see where my cruise is. I can see the volume knob. Then I have the switching over, the call. Everything is very, very easy, very intuitive, and right at my fingertips. And I will tell you, the steering wheel is squishy. I like it. It's heated all the way through, which I have to have because I get really cold. But good places for your hands, good grips, but it's also just very squishy, and that's kind of like all the materials that they put in here so far. I'm actually kind of impressed. The dashboard feels really nicely put together. All the materials that they've used seem pretty nice.
Yeah, and when we had that all-electric Lexus, the steering wheel had a very nice leathery feel, whether it was real leather or not. It had a nice soft feel, squishy. Ford makes a nice steering wheel, and you know, it's just kind of a nice feeling one, well put together. And we know it is a Ford, so Ford does have some quality concerns issues, but this feels really good put together. All soft touch up here, just some hard plastic here, but no piano black except for this little piece right here, and then these pieces right here are actually clear. They're not piano black. So very, very, very nice there. Now we're about ready to merge onto the highway, and we'll get her impressions. Even in the snow, the roads are fairly clear. We'll see what it is, because that was one of her main contentions of trading off the Tucson, was the power. And because the leather freaking stinks in there, the black doesn't seem to stink, but the color ones do. That's why we're looking away from Hyundai, because otherwise it's been a really good car. All right, go ahead and get on it and see how she does.
Well, right away, and I'm still in slippery mode, I think. Right away, it's definitely has more power than my Tucson. I'd like to kind of feel this if it was out of slippery mode. With all the snow, I'm not sure we can do it. It did happen to snow a lot today. That's because we choose the best days. Whoa!
I put it in sport.
Holy crap! That was surprising.
And I don't know if Ford's actually pumping some faux sound through the speakers, but it actually sounded like a Mustang when it took off. It's like, whoa! I don't even know if you guys can hear it, but yeah.
There it goes again. Oh my goodness, that has got some pep. That was a lot of fun. My RPMs are staying up there though. I don't know why. However, it's probably a sport thing. I don't know.
She's probably messing with the paddle shifters and doesn't even know that.
Oh, I don't know. No, I'm not touching the paddle shifters.
We'll put it in normal for her. I want to see if the sound goes away.
Yeah, there's normal.
Now get into it. Yeah, the sound...
It did get less throaty, I would say.
Less throaty. So maybe it's a faux sound they're pumping through the speakers. But we'll get off this next section so she can have some way to kind of get into it again. Again, these roads are wet. It has that all-season tires on it. We're not worried about the slipperiness of it. It's 30 degrees out here in Colorado. But
we choose the best days to go car shopping.
Yeah, always do the best days to go car shopping. But this is the right trim, guys, if you're looking for the 180 camera. Some of this stuff you can add to lower trims, but I mean, when you start doing it, then they end up almost being as much as this one. So why not get it the way you want it?
That's what I say.
As long as you can get it in the right color. But even like the Heritage, it's supposed to look like the old school Bronco, and you know, by the time you add the 180 camera and the B&O, the heated steering wheel, all that stuff, it's a $45,000 cloth seat Bronco. So I guess if you just really love that, then you'd have to go that direction. But I think the Badlands is the way to go. And we were skeptical looking at these floors being all rubber. You can't just hose them out. There's no floor drain like a Jeep would have or whatnot. But they were actually really grippy. because we have sloshy, wet feet, and they were doing just fine.
Yeah, they really are grippy.
Yeah. So just to let you know, there are floor anchors in here. You want to put carpeted floor mats, you can put that in there.
And they came with them, which I like, because sometimes in the summer I just kind of like that. It just, kind of brushes your feet off with the sand and whatnot.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want this rubber floor. For me, I like the thought of the carpet just because it feels nice, but at the end of the day, it actually makes sense. This is supposed to be a quasi, more off-roadish, compact SUV, and so you're going to get it dirty and whatnot. I guess then this makes sense, especially with kiddos. I mean, they could spill a soda in there and you can just wipe it right up.
Gosh, that would have been nice.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Can you hear the freaking rear wiper?
Yeah, that is actually the only thing that's like, I don't want to go yet. That's really obnoxious on how loud that is. I wonder if that's a normal thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Ford, take note of that. You got to change that wiper motor. Get a quieter one or something. Because I guess if we had the stereo up, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to hear about licensing agreements and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the stereo, I guess, would drown that out. We probably wouldn't hear that. We'll have to check that out here in a second. Yeah, once we get wrapping up. So get into it a little bit more. Yeah.
Woo, it definitely has more power than my Tucson.
Yeah, and the standard engine on the lower models is 1.5, 3-cylinder. This is the 2.0 4-cylinder. You could definitely feel it. I mean, this would be the engine I think you would want, and this one is not the one of the nano engines that had the recalls and had issues. So I think that it's good. But I mean, ride quality is good.
I think the ride quality is really nice. I was actually concerned about that because some of the reviews that we saw said it just rides really rough, and honestly, I don't find that at all. I find it rides really comfortable, and nothing gets better than Ford seats. So overall, I'm impressed. I love the smell in here. It smells like leather, not what mine smells like, and the color's beautiful.
Yeah, it is a good looking one. All right, so once we get this back in park, guys, we will bring our wrap up to this video here shortly. All right, so we are going to wrap up on the Bronco Sport and the thoughts and views of that. So who cares about my opinion, because this vehicle wouldn't necessarily be for me, but at the end of the day, it was a nice little SUV. Do I like it better than my Forester? Yeah, the Ford seats are really nice. It was really nice in a lot of that respect, and for me, I don't need all those cameras. So yeah, I think the Bronco Sport would be a winner for me. But let's get the Mrs. take on that.
I went back and I drove it again after I drove the Escape, and I actually really had a lot of fun. My husband slipped it into sport mode, and I didn't realize he did it again because I'm pretty sure you saw the other one. And I hit it, and I kind of roached the tires a little. It had some pep. I really enjoyed it. The interior was phenomenal, and yes, it is kind of the outdated system as far as like the Sync 3 versus Sync 4. I do think that'd be a great upgrade for the Bronco. But again, it's so user friendly. It had the stuff I absolutely need. I need my nav. I need the radio, and I need to have my phone synced. And honestly, it was that, and then I had buttons for everything. I loved all the materials inside the Bronco Sport, so it is definitely in consideration for, right now it's my top pick.
Right, and at the end of the day, you did like that. And believe it or not, guys, with all the 360 cameras in the world, she can never still park straight. And this thing didn't have that, and she parked it straight. So I think there's a lot of dependency across the human board of, looking at the cameras and trying to always use the cameras instead of using your intuition like the old days. But she nailed the parking, used the 180-degree camera to just check it in the front, and nailed that. But right now, top contender. Anything you disliked about the Bronco Sport?
I guess I could see the upgraded system. I thought that would be really nice, although I think the bigger screen would look silly in there. But I kind of wish there was a power liftgate. I got a little lazy on that aspect. It wasn't hard for me to just open it and press the button. It really does it for itself. You just have to actually press the button. And then I guess the 360 camera is really my big thing, just because I really do suck at parking really much, and that 360 helps me with that. So that, other than that, I absolutely loved it. The seats were phenomenal. They overall went above and beyond. But
All right, sounds good. There you have it, guys. There is her take on the Bronco Sport. If you're interested in the Ford Escape, we have a separate video on that and a wrap up on that video also, giving her takes on that and see if it even competes, even though they share sister platforms. Is the Edge better than the Sport Bronco? So thanks again, guys, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.